but for those who feel held back by their own shyness, I've included tools for building your confidence and combating certain elements of it. It's structured as 10 lessons I've learned from being shy. Here they are. Chapter 1. Shyness isn't a fixed trait. Shyness is when you turn your head away from something you want. Jonathan Safran Foer. As a young child, I was shy. I'd hide in the folds of my mum's flowing skirts rather than join in with the party games. When well-meaning adults leant down to talk to me, I recoiled. I wanted to be left in a safe, quiet space and to emerge when I felt ready. Somehow, I managed to make friends, but at the centre of my social circle there was always a best friend. One girl I was closest to and on whom I was somewhat reliant. She was always more confident than me. This was how I protected myself in the school playground, at parties and in other social situations, by positioning myself as her shadow. She did the speaking and then decided how the play would unravel. I followed suit. I wonder now if these best friends were mother replacements. If I couldn't hide in my mum's skirt, I'd attach myself to a peer. Outside of that close friendship, I'd have other girls and boys I played with. I wasn't too shy to integrate. I just needed to adjust to each new environment and mingle in my own time, on my own terms. And it's this very fact that distinguishes shyness from both introversion and social anxiety. Because a shy child may desperately want to be part of a wide friendship group and even to be centre stage at points. I certainly did. I loved both performing on stage and in front of my friends, but they are held back by shyness. Clinical psychologist Dr. Emma Svanberg explains the difference between introversion and shyness as follows. Often, introverts are happy in their own company, she says, whereas shy people would like to be able to connect more, but don't always feel able to. It's also not to be confused with social anxiety, which is based on a fear response rather than a personality trait. Svanberg's note sums up my childhood shyness. I felt like there was this confidence somewhere inside me, but I just didn't know how to access that part of myself. And because I was shy, I wasn't able to express how held back I sometimes felt. Shyness can make you feel quite trapped, a bit like sleep paralysis when your mind wakes up before your body, and so you feel physically frozen though your mind is acutely active. Thankfully, though, while shyness is something that will always lurk within me and in some ways impact my decision-making, I'm no longer paralysed by it. And this makes sense, as studies have proven that unlike introversion, shyness isn't a fixed personality trait. If you're not sure whether you're shy, introverted or socially anxious, this description from Dr. Svanberg might help. Shyness is more like, I prefer to stand back and observe before getting involved, whereas social anxiety is, people are frightening and a threat to me/my self-esteem. Introversion is, I find energy from spending time alone or in small groups, versus extroversion. I find energy from being with others. Introverts enjoy being solitary and are generally more reserved. It's a different personality trait. Shyness is more related to openness versus cautiousness. According to a 2017 shyness study, shyness involves discomfort and inhibition in social situations, specifically in novel social contexts. It makes sense then that it was at parties that I would find myself wanting to creep back out the front door or hide with one of my parents. But an earlier study from 2011 found that our personalities are in fact informed by experienced events and social roles, as well as self-perceptions and others' responses to our behaviour. This leaves parents with two options. Hold close the kid who so desperately fears new and unknown social situations, or push them a little, as this may help to lift the lid on that shyness and encourage them to adapt. Clinical neuropsychologist Dr. Ruth Erskine specialises in child psychology and says that in terms of whether shyness is genetic or learned, it's complex. After all, she says, you can't really separate genes from environment because genes only become active in an environment. Some things are hardwired though, while some things are more experience dependent. So a child might have a base level temperament and this will affect whether they are more or less sociable. Children have different ways of engaging with the world, she says. Some want to engage, some observe.